The global financial landscape is changing. The traditional dominance of established currencies is being questioned, and new players are emerging on the scene. For decades, the US dollar has reigned supreme as the world's reserve currency. It has been the cornerstone of international trade and finance, providing stability and predictability. Now, a group of emerging economies known as BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is challenging this dominance. These nations are not only growing in economic power but also in their influence on the global stage. They are actively seeking alternatives to the dollar for international trade and finance. This is not just a financial maneuver, but a strategic move to assert their sovereignty and reduce dependency on Western financial systems. This shift signals a potential power dynamic change in the global economy. The rise of alternative payment systems could lead to a more balanced and diversified financial world. The BRICS nations have several reasons for pursuing de-dollarization. One key driver is the desire for greater financial independence. By reducing their reliance on the US dollar, these countries aim to shield themselves from external economic shocks and political pressures. Reliance on the US dollar exposes these countries to vulnerabilities stemming from US economic policies and political decisions. This dependency can lead to significant economic disruptions in their own markets. They aim to reduce this dependence by establishing alternative payment systems and promoting the use of their own currencies. This includes developing digital currencies and enhancing regional financial cooperation. This move towards de-dollarization is not a new phenomenon. It has been gradually gaining momentum in recent years. The BRICS nations have been laying the groundwork for this shift through various economic and financial initiatives. However, the recent geopolitical events and economic sanctions imposed by the West have accelerated this trend. These actions have highlighted the risks of over-reliance on a single currency and have spurred efforts to find viable alternatives. The BRICS nations are now more determined than ever to create a more multipolar financial world where power is distributed more evenly. This vision includes fostering a financial ecosystem that is resilient, inclusive, and less susceptible to unilateral actions. The implications of this shift are far-reaching. If successful, the BRICS efforts could reshape global trade, finance, and geopolitics. A multipolar financial system could lead to more equitable economic growth and stability across different regions. It could lead to a more fragmented international monetary system with multiple reserve currencies. This fragmentation could introduce new complexities but also opportunities for innovation and collaboration. This would have profound implications for businesses, investors, and policymakers worldwide. They would need to navigate a more complex financial landscape, adapt to new norms, and seize emerging opportunities in this evolving global economy. To understand the significance of the BRICS challenge, we must first delve into the historical context of the US dollar's dominance. The journey of the US dollar to becoming the world's reserve currency is a tale of strategic economic decisions and geopolitical maneuvers. The story begins with the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944. This landmark agreement was signed by 44 allied nations and aimed to create a stable international monetary system. This agreement established a new global monetary order in the aftermath of World War II. The world was in dire need of economic stability and cooperation to rebuild war-torn economies and prevent future conflicts. It pegged the value of major currencies to the US dollar, which was directly convertible to gold. This gold standard ensured that the US dollar was as good as gold, fostering global trust in the currency. The Bretton Woods system effectively established the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. This meant that countries held US dollars in their reserves to facilitate international trade and stabilize their own currencies. This gave the United States significant economic and geopolitical leverage. The US could influence global economic policies and wield considerable power in international affairs. Over time, the dollar's role expanded beyond the Bretton Woods framework. It became the backbone of global finance, used in a vast majority of international transactions. It became the primary currency for international trade, investment, and central bank reserves. Countries around the world relied on the dollar for its stability and widespread acceptance. Even after the collapse of the Bretton Woods system in the early 1970s, the US dollar retained its preeminent position. The end of the gold standard did not diminish the dollar's global influence. This was due to several factors, including the size and strength of the US economy, which was the largest in the world, and a hub of innovation and productivity. the stability of its political system, which provided a reliable environment for investment and economic activities, and the depth and liquidity of its financial markets. The U.S. financial markets were the most developed and offered unparalleled opportunities for investors. However, the global financial crisis of 2008 raised questions about the sustainability of the dollar's dominance. The crisis revealed significant flaws in the U.S. financial system and its regulatory framework. The crisis exposed vulnerabilities in the U.S. financial system and led to a loss of confidence in the dollar. Many began to question whether the world should continue to rely so heavily on a single currency. This, coupled with the rise of emerging economies like the BRICS, has fueled the search for alternatives. These countries, with their growing economic clout, are exploring ways to reduce their dependence on the US dollar and promote their own currencies in global trade. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are actively seeking to create a more balanced and multipolar global financial system. Their efforts include establishing new financial institutions and promoting bilateral trade in their own currencies. The establishment of the new development bank by the BRICS is a significant step in this direction. It aims to provide an alternative to the US-dominated World Bank and International Monetary Fund, offering financial support for development projects in emerging economies. As the global economic landscape continues to evolve, the future of the US dollar as the world's reserve currency remains uncertain. The rise of digital currencies and the increasing influence of emerging markets could reshape the global financial order in the years to come. The BRICS nations are pursuing various initiatives to reduce their reliance on the US dollar. These initiatives aim to establish alternative payment systems, promote the use of local currencies, and create a more multipolar financial world. One prominent example is Russia's BRICS Bridge project. This initiative, launched in 2015, seeks to create a new international payment system that bypasses the SWIFT network. SWIFT, or the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, is the dominant messaging system for cross-border payments. It is heavily influenced by the United States and its allies. Another notable initiative is Brazil's proposal for a trans-border payment system. This system would allow BRICS nations to conduct cross-border transactions in their own currencies, reducing the need for the US dollar as an intermediary. These initiatives are still in their early stages of development. However, they represent a clear challenge to the existing dollar-centric system. The success of these initiatives could have far-reaching implications for the global economy. Section 4. The BRICS Bridge, facilitating trade in local currencies. The BRICS Bridge project is a significant step towards creating an alternative payment system that rivals SWIFT. It aims to connect the national payment systems of the BRICS nations, allowing for seamless cross-border transactions in local currencies. This would reduce transaction costs, minimize exchange rate risks, and promote financial inclusion. The BRICS Bridge would operate independently of SWIFT, reducing dependence on the US-dominated system. This is particularly important for countries like Russia, which have faced the threat of being excluded from SWIFT due to geopolitical tensions. Moreover, the BRICS Bridge could foster greater trade and investment within the BRICS bloc. By facilitating transactions in local currencies, the project could boost intra-BRICS trade and reduce reliance on the US dollar for settlements. While the BRICS Bridge is still under development, it has the potential to significantly impact the global financial landscape. Its success could pave the way for a more multipolar financial system, reducing the dominance of the US dollar. Section 5. Beyond the BRICS Bridge, Brazil's transborder payment system. Brazil's proposal for a transborder payment system further underscores the BRICS' commitment to de-dollarization. This initiative is not just a financial maneuver but a strategic move towards greater economic sovereignty for the BRICS nations. By reducing reliance on the US dollar, Brazil and its BRICS partners aim to create a more balanced and equitable global financial system. This system, still in its conceptual stage, envisions a platform where BRICS nations can conduct cross-border transactions directly in their own currencies. This would mean that businesses and individuals in these countries could trade and settle payments without the need to convert their money into dollars first, simplifying the process and making it more efficient. This initiative aims to circumvent the need for intermediary currencies like the US dollar, streamlining cross-border payments and reducing transaction costs. By eliminating the middleman, transactions can be completed faster and with fewer fees, benefiting both small businesses and large corporations. It would also mitigate exchange rate risks associated with using a third currency for settlements. Exchange rate fluctuations can be unpredictable and costly, so a direct currency exchange system would provide more stability and predictability for international traders. Brazil's proposal reflects a growing trend among emerging economies to explore alternative payment systems that offer greater autonomy and reduce dependence on the US dollar. This trend is driven by a desire for more control over their own economic destinies and a recognition of the limitations imposed by the current dollar-dominated system. While the technical aspects and implementation details of the proposed system are yet to be finalized, it reflects a clear shift towards a more multipolar financial order. This shift is not just about financial transactions, but also about geopolitical influence and the ability of emerging economies to assert their interests on the global stage. The success of such initiatives could have significant implications for businesses and individuals alike. For businesses, it could mean lower costs and greater ease in conducting international trade. For individuals, it could translate to more accessible financial services and opportunities for economic participation. It could lead to more efficient and cost-effective cross-border payments, fostering greater financial inclusion and promoting economic growth within the BRICS bloc and beyond. As these nations continue to develop and refine their financial systems, the potential for a more interconnected and resilient global economy becomes increasingly attainable.